Monday, May 6th, has issued a high risk of severe weather, and it is confirmed that it is causing damage. Again, it's this little area right here. If you are in this area north of Parkin, Now, hello everybody, welcome back to another Skycast video. My name is Christian, and it's been a while since we've made a weather update, but we are back, and we are highlighting a severe weather risk for tomorrow. Two areas that we're going to be watching, one across parts of the Florida, Georgia, Alabama area, and then the other one across the Nevada mountains towards California, up the coast of Oregon. This is not going to be a wild threat. The potential for a brief tornado does exist, but a damaging wind gust or two and the potential for some small hail across the Florida side is definitely there. So let's break this down and talk about what's going on. Now, by all means, tomorrow across the Florida, the southeast coast side is not really going to be anything too wild. Convection will begin going into the afternoon and the evening hour, mainly across this general circled area where this marginal risk of severe weather is highlighted. And if one or two of these can become sustained thunderstorms, maybe even a mini supercell, we could see that tornado potential. It's not going to be a strong tornado potential, but low end, perhaps brief touchdown cannot be ruled out. Things are going to be relatively clustered and disorganized, and that is fairly obvious from the HRRR. Could see a damaging wind gust or two more enhanced if we do get a line of storms, but it does look like it's just going to be a lot of rain and isolated convection out here. If we do switch over to instability, we can highlight where we are going to see that greatest potential. And where we do have that tornado threat, once again, right in this general area where we are seeing areas of elevated K between 1,000 and 1,500 joules per kilogram. Not an insane amount of instability, especially as we've seen in major outbreaks, but it is enough to get it down, a tornado down, especially when you will have dew points in the mid-60s and also wind shear that will be evident. That may help to get a storm sustained. Now, if we do get a tornado down somewhere, I would more expect it to be across the southeast coast rather than our other marginal risk up here. I would suspect that this will be more of a rained out event, and you can kind of just directly tell that from all the convection that's being highlighted across the HRRR model. It's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of clouds. It's going to be harder for a severe thunderstorm of sorts to get sustained. If we do get one, though, it would be possible for, once again, another brief touchdown tornado, a damaging wind gust, maybe some small hail, but overall not really seeing anything too wild out here. Still have that severe weather plan just in case. Now, as you've probably read in the title of the video, the Jetstream and severe weather will likely begin to uptick towards parts of mid-January, and I want to dive into that for just a moment and discuss what's going on. Really, across this is the upper level winds, the 500 millibar winds up in our atmosphere, and there is a lot going on here, there, and everywhere, especially where we're going to have these little shortwave areas that are going to have the potential to cause low-end severe weather. This one right here is going to be assisting with the severe threat out here towards Florida, Georgia, the southeast coast that we were talking about just a moment ago. And then back here is where we're going to be seeing a lot of that rain, those windy, gusty, cloudy conditions where that trough is going to be moving ashore. But a lot of stuff going on here, there, and everywhere. We're going to continue to see likely some low-end rain or maybe low-end severe weather days. And this is going to continue for much of January, this fairly active jet stream pattern, but we're really going to see a severe weather threat begin to develop towards the 7th. And as we can see right out of the southwest, we do have that bowling ball shape beginning to pop up. That is an early sign of trough development, and this will eventually begin to eject into parts of the south towards Texas, Oklahoma, and that is really where we're going to be able to start watching that severe weather. Now, a great question is, how far north is the moisture and the instability going to be able to skyrocket? Because that is where we will need to see where the severe weather threat will be placed, and is why it takes a while to be able to line that out. Because if instability or moisture gets extremely high, that's going to be a larger severe weather threat, rather than if we get, for example, a moisture travel graph or something like that, and moisture and instability doesn't raise that high, we're going to be having much less of a severe weather event. So definitely something that we will need to continue watching for this. And this could be a multi-day severe weather setup. This is going to be a prolonged trough. This has been the trend on multiple models now, and you can see from like the 7th all the way to the 10th, moving towards the 11th, this will continue to move through the United States. So definitely a potential for a more robust severe weather setup. Definitely something we need to keep an eye on. Things are going to trend differently. This is between 140 and 200 hours out. So definitely a lot of times for models to catch up, agree, and to change things. Now, one thing that I was talking about just a second ago was how far instability and moisture is going to skyrocket, and that's going to be a big question for the severe weather threat. Once again, no exacts, but I do want to give an idea on what models are playing out. Instability is not being forecasted to be an extreme massive amount. We may get some, especially here across parts of eastern Texas, and depending on how far north that does surge, that is going to highlight where we see the main threat for that severe weather. So if we don't get too much instability, it's going to be a more localized threat, likely across parts of the south, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Definitely just something that we need to continue to monitor the trend for, to see how things do continue to change. Now, one thing I do want to note as well is that I'm not the only one saying this. The National Weather Service is keeping an eye on this. You can read this paragraph right here. A broad upper trough should evolve across the west in the late week. This is going to yield an expansive swath of fast, mid-level, and southwesterlies from the high plains to the northeast. Now, once again, there's going to be fail modes and stuff with this, but definitely something that is a bit of a change. We've had a very, very lackluster second severe weather season. It looks like we're gonna be starting off January fairly active, maybe even get some snow in areas that are going to be colder. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for choosing Skycast as your go-to weather. Going to continue to try to get severe weather updates out a bit sooner now. Had some computer problems, have been making shorts instead, but we're going to try our best to continue making these videos. You can follow me on X. That's where I do most of my information and posts and all that. You can follow that. Link is in the description. Have a great day. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.